Okay, I have clicked the button.
Okay.
Is that supposed to mean something? Does that happen?
At some point in the near future, according to the computer,
Yeah.
we're doing live things.
Wow.
Really?
Okay.
We're live now?
That's
I'm
allegedly.
not after today.
That's we're not alive.
Oh,
Live
live.
and alive are two entirely separate things.
Okay.
So we are live, but not alive.
So we are live now?
So we're live.
I think so.
Or was that
I
win?
see a moving picture, so I think we're actually.
But that's just looking at ourselves,
I think
right?
it's
So
like Spaceballs, though. When's now? Is this now?
Is
Now?
that now or
That
this
now
now?
is this now, yeah.
Go back to then. Hey everybody.
Oh, we're live.
We're live. That wasn't a joke, apparently.
Oh, hey everyone. So, hey, John, George,
Yep.
Mo,
Hey,
GenXGrownUp. We are in Tallahassee, Florida.
We are?
Beautiful Tallahassee.
You're fucking lying.
I'm not from here, so
Beautiful to those visiting.
Yeah, because you're visiting.
Yes.
You don't have to live here.
It's a nice place to visit. I wouldn't want to live there. We are attending InfinityCon Tallahassee
There we go.
2021.
After a long break.
We were last here at the first InfinityCon Tally,
2019?
2019. The
Yeah.
second one got canceled due to there was some kind of a cold going around.
Yes, there was a little bit of a cold.
There's something.
A couple of people
Yeah.
had some.
Really?
but
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Look at all the folks we got. See MC Murs here, Marcus, Megan,
Miss O, Thanos.
Mighty Dude, hi, Miss
Nice.
Thanos. Yeah, awesome. So
Right.
Wow.
yeah, you see my Pac-Man hat. Thanks.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, so we're in a hotel room. We're in my hotel room here. We're on a 5G connection and some Wi-Fi in the hotel, and
All kinds of
And-
Twitter's magic.
Yes.
And just-
a
yeah.
lot of prayer right now that things
Everything
that
sticks together.
things stay together.
That's
Which
right.
works out great because these two are atheists.
Domino Nabisco vacuum. Yes. Yeah,
George doesn't
so
carry the
we wanted to get
Right.
together. So this is after day one
Yes.
of the InfinityCon show. And as we have done historically at conventions, for those of you that can't be here with us, MC Mur, are these Gen X jerseys? You're damn straight they are.
Yes.
Mine's in the car.
The year we're born.
I missed
Gen
the
X
memo,
grown up
sorry.
across yeah, I got my name on the back. Yeah, they
Yep.
are.
You got my year birthday wrong, so that's why I'm not
I
right.
did not.
You
Thanks
put
to George.
67, it's supposed to be 76.
The bullshit. You are old.
Yeah, so we'd like to Mighty Dude says love your videos. Thanks.
Nice.
Hey, Ethan.
Thanks.
So we several times over the last few conventions we've gone to, back when we used to do conventions,
Hey, Ethan.
we like to, after the first day, get together and do this. We thought this time we'd do it on camera, right,
Yeah.
for change, and talk about the show. Those of you that can't be here with us, we wish you all could, but if you can't, we'll talk about.
Marcus just piped in and said they stubbornly refused to let me order one. I think he's talking about jerseys. I'm like, it's on Amazon.
Right, nobody's
sure we
stopping
provided
you.
a link.
Nobody's stopping you. Dibs on 72, says
Yeah.
Marcus.
You can have 72.
Oh, we just retired that number.
Yeah, sorry,
Oh,
there's somebody else that had
Yeah,
it.
It's hanging up in the rafters.
Yeah, I can't
he was
do
a
it.
great guy.
Oh my
He
god,
died.
Johnny had sports reference.
He died. I've been to high school.
Why does sports only have to relate to high school, though?
That's my only reference. Yeah.
Oh, man.
So let's get started. So it started yesterday. Setup was yesterday.
Yesterday evening, you drove over from Jacksonville
Yep.
and had a hotel room, and we're just kind of waiting. I got done with work at about 4 o'clock, right on the dot. It was kind of a busy
You got over there
afternoon.
early, yeah.
And I went straight over there, and you were waiting for me to respond to text, which I didn't do while I was driving because I'm safe and I pray, and Domino Bisco, whatever.
In the back, yeah.
And I got there. I don't know, 4:30 or so, and you got there about 10, 15 minutes later.
Yep.
It was fun as far as getting to see you again and being in the convention environment again, because as soon as you walk through, especially as a vendor on setup day, it brings back all the memories of.
And you start to see all those people that you've
do,
seen the last few
right.
shows, yeah.
There's kind of a convention family, especially if you're in the same area, right? You see the same, not always the same, but you probably see 5 to 10 people.
Kind of the southeastern-y kind of folks.
that you
Yep.
see at the different conventions, and it was really nice.
The setup wasn't tough. Took maybe 45 minutes or so.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
first night, because we so those of you who have gone to our Discord channel, we showed some pictures there of the framework of the sales stature, which is I think only the second time we've put that up.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
Yeah, and I was posting stuff to our YouTube story. You can still see
Right.
that. If you go on mobile, you can see this YouTube story stuff from the day.
Yeah, I was reading a lot in the Discord channel, people complaining about YouTube not notifying on the stories or something. Yeah,
It's YouTube.
We can
Right.
only do so much. Yeah. Marcus is still, damn it, all of you for having his number.
Oh, Mighty Dude subscribe. Thank you.
nice. Thank you, Mighty Dude.
Wait, so Thanos said, "Is there no sun in Tallahassee?" So we were just talking about how pale George looks between the two of us.
We were thinking we need a different color background just to help
Hey, Jerry. How you doing? Thanks for joining. Oh.
Yeah, we should have done more of a gradual shading seating.
Right. Mo, John, George.
There's not enough color correction.
You can attribute it to lighting.
in that
Yes, bad
video
lighting.
program. Yeah.
Just shine an orange light on you.
Right.
Yeah, hello.
That won't help.
So then, Mo, you drove over this morning.
Yep.
Yeah. You stopped by Dunkin' Donuts and did
Yes.
not bring us donuts. Thanks for that. We appreciate
and
it.
it made him late.
Right.
Too. Right. John and
That's
I
all
had to
bad.
finish
You're
the
gonna be
setup.
late. Bring donuts.
Well, yeah, I mean, come on. It was like, went to a Dunkin' Donuts drive-through. Turns out they only had one person working, period, in the whole place. So it took a while.
Yeah.
And it's like one of those drive-ins, and once you're in, there's no out.
You can't escape.
Oh, right. Yeah,
You're in line until you leave. Hey, Shelly G, how are you doing? Thanks for joining. So we got all set up this morning, and we came up. We set up the table, and this time, just like the last one we did, we focused on. We're doing a lot of selling. We used to
more sales. Yeah.
Yeah, we used to bring Rubik's cubes and some toys early on,
just to play with.
And people would say, "How much is that?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, I don't know." So we've started. We sell a lot of Rubik's cubes and toys and stuff to defray the cost. And so we got all that stuff set up and.
Yeah, Rubik's cubes, portable consoles that you plug directly into a TV.
Yeah.
Yep.
Posters. Those are some really favorite. Like people come over and they look at the posters because we have 3 and they're on our what's that? Teespring,
Teespring,
Spring, whatever.
Spring, yep.
You can find links and YouTube channels and on our webpage and stuff. I'm sure. But we have 3 original art pieces, 2 that we had commissioned and 1 that John did himself. And people come over and they love those. The only issue is, hey Marcus, look at that. $1.72. You missed the 9, sir. That should have been $19.72.
Yeah, right. It's the font. It's not bold enough. Again.
We'll get into
Long
that
story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But those posters really attract a lot of people, but they seem to be hesitant on buying them because they're big 8x10s.
Yeah.
No, I think they live by 17.
Are they
11 by 17?
Thank you. Yeah,
They're
yeah,
really
yeah.
big.
Yeah.
They're big, yeah.
But they're awesome.
But we sold several of them today.
Yeah.
We did. Yeah.
Which was very nice,
Which one sells the best? Is it the one that I made? I wasn't sure. I was just checking.
Is it going to be that kind of podcast?
Yes, it'd be that kind of podcast. We just got to stroke his ego a little bit, and then he lets us.
I'm
do
glad
the
you
rest
said
of the
ego.
show.
No stroking a little bit.
So
with
glad
this
you
guy.
said
I know, you're right.
You're
You're right. So anyway,
So we set up the cubes, we set up the posters, we set up all the connected TV stuff, and VIPs showed up at what 9:30?
Yeah,
Yeah,
9:30 VIPs were let in.
then-
I'm just laughing at Miss So's comment. No worries, George. I'm the same complexion.
but I have to tell you, is like it wasn't like we don't hard sell. People
We
just,
never hard sell
we
our
just
knowledge.
They're like, "Oh, cube, how much?" We tell them how much, and like, "Okay," and they buy it. I
Well,
mean,
that was the thing we were joking about this morning. Normally, when you have a convention, you don't have a lot of sales early. Most people, they start buying later on because
Yeah,
they
right,
want
'cause
to
they
walk
wanna
around and
carry-
see
they wanna carry
everything. They don't want to
everything
carry
too,
everything. But we sold one of the little mini cubes like in the first 7
Yeah,
minutes.
for 5 or 6 minutes. Right. Somebody come up. I'm going to take one of those. I'm like, really? Let me find the bank. I'm not even ready.
right.
Yeah.
We're not expecting you.
And we found some new stuff, like you set up the credit card square thing that we have, and there's some new features in that, like that allow you
Inventory
to list
stuff,
inventory and
yeah.
items and pictures.
Yeah.
And so it was more fun.
Marcus says you're blending in with the wallpaper. Poor guy. Poor guy.
I'm just gonna turn off all the fucking lights.
Thanos said, when is it not that kind of podcast?
Yeah.
Right?
those.
Yeah, true.
So we had something else that we did this time. So we used to just bring stuff we sell.
Right.
And this time we brought some of the tabletop arcade games.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Cut.
What?
You gotta answer your mom.
What
Your
happened?
mom just chatted.
Oh, glad to see you little Gen X boys having so much fun. Oh, that's my mama, Sharon R.
Hey.
Can we have Kool-Aid?
Actually, I was thinking more like cherry pies, but 'cause
Both
she makes
mine.
really good cherry pies.
John's mom bought Sunny D.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
And Nathan's here now.
Dryer
Aaron's
said
Yep.
powder. Come on, they're not going to let this go, are they?
No, and they're not far off of a lot of my high school and middle school nicknames. I was
really?
a wide receiver in high school, so instead of wide out, I was white out.
White out.
Yep.
You can always see him downfield.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I was a beacon. If it was a night game, I was the go-to receiver.
Where's
every
George?
time.
Oh, there he is.
Hey, Retro Days!
Retro, hell, awesome.
Thank you very
Tony.
much,
Nice to
Retro
see you. We're having
Absolutely.
a blast. Yep.
Yeah.
So
But-
what were we saying? We
cubes,
we
all
brought the
cubes.
tabletop
Yeah.
arcade machines.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So
we
there's
brought
a lot
bunch
of
stuff.
there's a lot of stories about the table. So, Defonte Game Reviews. Thank you very
thank
much.
you.
Yeah. So DeForte is a new member. He joined a
Oh,
YouTube member.
wow.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
that.
very
Thank
much.
you.
Some
DeForte.
cash for you or your mom. He said.
So we have a lot of these and varying sizes of these tabletop arcade
from
cabinets
here
that are
to
retro games,
there,
right?
right?
That we've reviewed.
We've got the Pac-Man
Partycade.
Partycade. We had, and I'm going to get into that story in a second, Galaga Countercade.
Yep.
And then we had the Dragon's Lair Replicade that I did the review of, and the Space Invaders one that you did a review
Yep,
of.
that's the premium edition.
Premium
arcade.
edition.
Yep.
And then a whole bunch of little...
Yeah, like 5 or 6 of the little
tiny
minis
arcades.
that I bought, the tiny Super Impulse ones. So the story behind we had...
Aaron, $5. Thank you,
Oh,
man.
Thank you, Aaron.
man, thank you.
The gas money. Thank
right.
you.
Exactly. So we were sitting there, and somebody was like, every time we go to one of these conventions, we put something on the table, like you said about the Rubik's Cubes. The first thing they asked, how much is this?
Yeah.
Right? And they were doing that about the mini arcades.
Oh,
and
yeah, I
everything.
wanted to buy those too.
Yeah, can we buy it? I'm like, no, we're not. That's just for you guys to come over and play with and talk to us.
Right.
Well, somebody joked around about wanting to buy it, and as an offhand comment, as I was standing up and getting ready to go do something, I said, if anybody offers $100, sold.
Yep.
Right?
Well, he left.
I left, and while I was gone, somebody came up to the table and said, I'd like to buy that. How much is it? And you guys, rightfully so, said, well, you know, the guy who owns it said he'll sell it for $100. The guy said, really? Okay, I'll be back later.
And
then I came back to the table. You guys told me the story.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, well, you know, and I didn't think much about it. I was thinking about the panel that I had to go run and stuff today. And I had to go away again to go talk to the people at the panel.
Yep.
coincidentally,
And I come back, and my fucking arcade game is gone.
like, gone. Because the guy came back.
The guy came back with $100.
And he paid the money. I mean,
I took him at his word. I thought he wanted to sell it.
yeah.
And
So-
for those of you who don't know, that game was for sale on Walmart for a very short period of time for $49. It's still listed on their website at that price,
But you can't
but
get
it's
it
out
now.
of stock.
Yeah.
Out of stock, yeah.
So it's also out of stock on Arcade 1UP site.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Yep. So I started looking because I was like, okay, shit, I really want to replace it because I had only opened it up for the very first time for this convention. I'd never played it at all.
Yeah.
It was just opened up for this. So I started looking on eBay, $250, $350, $175 plus $50 shipping. I'm like, oh my
Okay,
God.
so just to say, when he said that, like, hey, I'll get rid of it for $100, he also, that was the whole thing, because you also said, like, well, you know, I had this thing for 2 months and sit in the box the whole time, might as well sell it for $100. So I
Right.
thought you were serious.
I took you at your word. I didn't know.
Yeah, and it was just all me, you know, doing my peacock bullshit.
Just bluster.
Yeah, just
and then
bluster.
And then somebody called the bluff, and we didn't
Yeah.
realize you were bluffing.
Yeah.
And so I come back, and like for the next 20 minutes, I'm depressed. I'm not mad at either one of them. I'm kind of mad at myself. I'm like, it was my fucking fault.
You should have made it clear. We
Oh
didn't
my
know.
God.
Anyway,
So
You seem
we
serious.
So we had several of
So
those.
all the donations in this stream.
Wait, I thought it was gas money.
Well, I mean,
Oh.
well, George, when you come back, John's like, here, he gave you the cash to pay for the
Right. Well,
the
and he gave me the
$50.
53, and
because
I'm like,
he got tax.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't
What
replace.
can I
this
do with that?
153.
Right.
What is that? I mean, I paid for what I paid for it, but I can't get it back. And that's kind of the thing we always try and do if we sell something from our table. Is
Right.
whatever the reacquisition of
Yeah,
that
get it
item
back.
for
Get
that
it back.
person.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I know.
and I went looking. Because
Oh, look at Marcus.
So,
What's he
well,
think?
let's get. There's a lot of chat here.
Okay,
yeah.
So first, Thanos is saying what panel he needs input. We're going to talk
We'll
about.
get that
we'll
to
talk
a
about
second.
Smash Brothers in a
Yes,
bit. Yeah.
Yep.
So Ethan,
Oh,
wow,
Mike
living the
Creamer's
story.
here. Hey, Mike.
Creamer says, George, that's definitely on you.
I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing. I'm still mad, but I'm not arguing.
Yep. Ethan, message redacted, so he's really ashamed of what he said to you. Murr, quite a tale. Yeah, Marcus has one he hasn't opened, George. You can have it for $100.
I'll buy it.
Wow.
If
look
you're
at
not,
there.
if you're serious, Marcus, I'll
Yeah.
buy it.
All right.
If you really want it.
Don't bluff,
it's like,
please,
yeah.
I
Marcus.
do really,
Please
I
don't
do
bluff,
really want
Marcus.
it.
All right.
And because it's Galaga,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
my game.
Yep.
You know, Galaga, Dragon Slayer, those are the two I love the most. Anyway, so I was very mad at myself, especially when I started looking. I was like, okay, I can get it on Amazon, maybe
Get it
Nope.
back.
I get, and when I started seeing those prices, I was just like,
Nope.
I don't want to talk about it. I went looking for the guy.
Oh, for the guy.
Because you guys told me that he was carrying around with
Yeah,
him.
he
He was
was.
playing
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
Smash Brothers
Yep,
tournament,
yep,
which we're going to talk about later. And so I went to the whole Smash Brothers thing. I walked up on stage.
Try to find him.
I walked down through
Were you
every
gonna-
single
were you gonna,
place.
like-
I was going to try and get it back from him.
We gonna like knock him over and steal it?
No, I was like, look.
Would you take
It
105?
was sold accidentally. It shouldn't have been sold, even though they thought they should have. Would you be willing to take your $100 back and give them? Couldn't find him.
Look at that. Marcus said, yeah, it's worth it to you, and I don't need that extra money. So he's willing to sell it to you. Look at
Bless you, Marcus. Thank you.
that. For $110.
Because As long as one of you drives it over, I'm giving you.
There you go. So one of the first things that you start to notice at a show is the big thing. You run a vendor's table is how much foot traffic do you get, because
Sure.
it's a numbers game. We
It
were
is,
talking
yeah.
today. If you see 100 people, maybe 10 give a shit about you, and maybe 2 of those will actually follow through on giving a shit about you.
Yeah.
And so the more people, the better.
Right.
And we expected this to be much, much bigger.
Much.
Based on pre-sales, we thought.
So yeah, and so it's a qualified, right? So 2019, we knew from talking with Dave, the guy who runs InfinityCon, great guy,
Yeah.
love him. If he ends
Really
up
great
watching
guy.
the stream later
Yep.
on, Dave, we love you. We're not talking bad about him.
We like you. Mo doesn't care for you.
Mo doesn't care for So he told us that last year he had 800 pre-sold tickets
Yep.
and 2,000 for the whole convention in ticket sales for one day.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Right. This year he had 1,200 pre-sold
Pre-sales,
tickets. And so it's 2 days, so we're figuring 3,500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the foot traffic, as
Was
you
nuts.
said, felt
It
the
felt
same.
almost the same.
Yeah.
Right.
But we figured out why we think that is.
Yeah, I attribute a big part of that to the fact, and we'll probably segue into your panel here in a second,
Sure.
is that they were having a huge Smash Brothers like esports tournament.
Yes.
Right.
And not only was it a big tournament, it was the first tournament
On the East Coast.
since COVID.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's a lot of pent up energy and anticipation of this thing.
And a lot of big names. They actually, a lot of those esports guys are sponsored by different businesses or companies or corporations
Yeah.
that have teams and whatnot. And all of these people were saying, "Look, this is the first one that's there. You guys have to go to this and
You're
earn
all
your money."
going. You're all
Right?
going,
Right.
yeah.
So people from California.
a lot of big wigs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had, and people from California didn't really want to come because it's a long
Right.
flight and it's East Coast and COVID and everything. But what we figured out is last year the vendor area was just one half of the section that we have this year.
Right.
Right. Now this year they have the same vendor area, but everything else, all the esports stuff, which is what we found out later, is 500 of the people at the convention, is all over in the arena setting where they play basketball.
Yeah. And so there's no guarantee of all those ticket sales
Coming over to.
becoming foot traffic
Yes.
through the vendor area. It's likely a lot of those people just got tickets to come
Right.
and do the convention. to do
Unless
the
they're interested in Gallery.
tournament.
And then they come straight up.
And then they come over,
Yeah.
drop $100 and
Walk
disappoint
away with
George.
the thing.
I'm a poor George. I'm
Yeah, I know,
Yes.
right?
But I would have.
pale and sad. It's
Badly
really
sad.
bad combination.
Right.
The person I would have thought though we would have had more people because Smash Brothers you get a lot of teenagers, right? A lot of
Yeah.
kids playing. So I figured you get a lot of parents.
Yeah, they'll
And
come
the
on.
parents are gonna because there's a lot of waiting, and I thought they would come over.
And that's who we need. We need those
Right.
kids' parents.
We
We need those
Matter of fact,
teenager
we
parents.
sold mostly to parents.
Yeah.
I think.
You're right.
They hit our
But,
demo.
I walked through that arena a couple of times. I was looking for the guy. And
As we
I walked through there, and there was literally almost no parents in there. There was nobody over 6 foot tall and over 100 pounds. They were all little
No.
short, skinny kids. And it was pissing me off on a lot of different levels. But the only adultish people in there were the ones running the
That-
thing. And they were all younger than us. They were
So-
like 25, 30.
So I wouldn't call it disappointing. It's
No.
just it's the same as it was last time, which was good. We
Right.
were expecting to be quite a bit more foot
Yeah.
traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll
Yeah.
see how it goes tomorrow. But
Yeah, tomorrow will be interesting. I know there's a 30% chance of rain. I know somebody asked about the sun, whatever.
so they might be looking for something else to do.
It's indoors,
Yeah.
and Tallahassee has not had a lot of entertainment value in the last year. The basketball games, which are very popular, were not allowed to be attended until like the last couple of games.
Yep.
Football was pretty much dead on arrival, and the theater that's in town, the main AMC theater, literally just opened up like a month ago, and it's doing one showtime per movie on almost every movie.
Wow.
So you'd hope to get more of that traffic.
Yeah, I think it might be an advertising and a word of mouth thing. He's getting better with that. He's getting more recognition. He had WCTV,
Yep.
right?
Yep. They were up
Doing
front.
spots and
Sure,
stuff.
yeah.
So that was nice.
Yeah. But I'd say though, the people we have met, we meet some great people today.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah.
and that's the nice thing about when it's a little slower or a little less crowded is that you really can sit there and talk
And
to
stop
people.
and talk and
Yeah.
chat.
And
yeah.
chat and find
Yeah.
out about people, and because people like in a couple minutes they'd be like, okay, whatever. But after they talk to us for a while, they're like, wow, that sounds actually pretty interesting. Let me sign
Yeah.
up. Let me do this. So it was nice.
Yeah.
And a lot of them were parents of
Yeah.
little kids. Which,
Sure.
Well, and you can't minimize the attraction of, well, if you like the Rubik's Cube and you like that Pac-Man machine, you're probably somebody we want to talk to anyway.
Right.
Which is kind of the goal, yeah. Let me catch up on the chat real quick.
Sure,
Just a couple of things. So we talked about you didn't care for David. That was a joke, by the way, David.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marcus said everyone knows Mo is the hard one to get along with. It's not us, certainly.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And Retro Days is asking, what are you guys vending? We talked about it earlier. We're selling a lot of puzzle cubes and plugging into TV games and stuff like that. Yeah.
Puzzle cubes, TV games, original
Posters.
artwork. Yeah, I think that's
That's
pretty,
pretty much it,
Yeah.
for the most part.
I mean, and we'll sell anything else that we...
George's luggage.
I'm not going to let
shiz.
this one go. Yeah. I'll come back tomorrow, like, have my clothes will be on the table. It'll be like a flea market.
So you might be interested if you want to come tomorrow. Sunday is still happening.
Yes.
If you're watching this live and you're interested in Tallahassee, so tickets are $12 for kids, I think.
17 for adults.
17 for adults.
And the kids are up to 11, I think.
Up
Is
to
it?
11
Okay.
adults.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
If you buy online, they charge you extra $5. Just come to the box office.
It's
Right.
that, the line
They're not
is
going to
that
sell
long.
out or anything.
No,
Yeah.
they got plenty of capacity in that area. I would imagine the capacity for the space that
Oh.
they have is probably 20 grand easily
It's
because
definitely over what we have.
I know the stadium holds like 15.
Yeah.
So-
Okay. Marcus is asking, are there a lot of vendors? And we were kind of quantifying that at dinner.
We were, yeah.
Yeah.
I think my ballpark is there's about 25 at the most of the vendors.
Vendors,
Yeah.
and maybe
Yeah.
20 to 25 artist
Artists,
alley,
yeah.
people that do
Which
arts and crafts.
Yeah, which I think is a little low, personally, because it seems low, because...
There's room for
you
more.
mean
There's room.
not low in our count, but low of how many
Right.
people are there?
Yeah.
Because,
You
and I
expect
think
more.
that's... Because also, I'm sure a lot of people, especially this is the first convention in a while, some people are probably hesitant to commit and all that stuff. Like, there's only, like, one vendor that has, like, a lot of pop vinyls, which is surprising.
Well, we
Usually
normally
there's
got
20.
7 of them. Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, I saw 3 pop vinyl areas, but you're right, only
Only
one
one
with
had,
a
like,
big wall.
right.
And that's a guy that I know from some of these
Mm-hmm.
local conventions.
Yep.
You always make the joke, or you made the joke today about he's Capital City Toys, and he doesn't live in
The
Tallahassee.
capital city at all. Right, not the capital.
He's in a city like 30 minutes away or something.
Yeah.
But it was fun. They did have, I know this isn't really vendors, but they do sell their photos and stuff. They have 2 ginormous Star Wars statues.
Yeah.
Oh,
right?
yes.
So they have the Rancor, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that they claim that that's the Rancor that was used in movie on set.
Oh, really?
Oh,
I
I didn't
believe
know
so.
that.
I did not hear that.
Well, that's why
That makes it
there's
more interesting suddenly.
the pictures with Lucas and
Oh, like maybe that came from there?
I
Oh.
think,
Yeah.
but
I'll
I'm
find
not
out
sure.
tomorrow.
If you look at our YouTube story, I took a quick story of the Ranker.
Good.
So you can see it. If you go and log on mobile and look at the
Yeah.
stories, you'll see
Okay.
the Ranker. I took
And
a
they're
quick
at a
shot.
lot of big conventions. I've seen them at MegaCon and at DragonCon. So they're a big draw for these bigger conventions.
I can imagine. Oh, yeah.
It was nice to see them at this convention, which is on the smaller side.
Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine transporting that thing.
That's what I was more impressed with how they got it
Yeah.
there and
Yeah.
set it up than
'Cause it's
it
big.
itself.
Because
It's
we
big.
only saw the seams on the back legs. We couldn't
Very
see
little.
seams
Yeah, it
anywhere
looks
else.
very coherent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go figure.
And
My creamer says, Mo, you look different from how you sound, or so I've heard.
Is this for kids? I can't. Before I say my next statement, I want to make
Just
sure.
send Mike a text.
Yeah,
just
I'll,
tell him
text,
what you
I'll
think.
text you, Mike.
Yeah.
I'll text you. Don't worry about it, dude.
And he's asking, okay, where do you get the jerseys, or do you have them on your site? Yeah, ask Marcus. He'll tell you about the jerseys. No, there's a place on Amazon that makes them. And
do we have them on
gotta
our
set-
marketplace thing on that Amazon one?
No, but
No,
we should.
we should.
we should
We'll
do that.
throw them in our marketplace. We'll throw the link out there.
So-
Absolutely.
And I'll explain. You have to if you do decide to order these things on Amazon, you have to put in all your
You
own
personalize
criteria.
everything.
Personalize.
Color design,
Like,
logos, yeah.
And be careful. So, like the capital G here,
Yep.
that's you have to capitalize that in the thing.
But they won't.
I purposely didn't capitalize the other parts of the word because I felt it was better
Looked like
as
a
a
flow.
baseball jersey
Yeah. Yep.
style. So you can do anything you like with it, and they have multiple styles and colors. Like there's the New York Yankee pinstripe styles, and basically one for almost every major league team.
Yeah.
And the fonts are pretty uniform, but
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
can do patches on your arm.
Yeah, we'll have to set up a link
Yep.
somewhere since you guys are interested. Yeah,
Sure.
they look great. I think.
Oh, they're
It was-
awesome.
It was George's idea. He
Yeah.
bought them for both of us, and
Really
Yeah.
appreciate
they
that.
were
It's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
And Mo has one too. He just didn't wear it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't worry.
right.
Well, I'm taking care of mine. We had dinner, and I didn't want to get anything on
I,
it, so I took
did
it
get
off.
a little spaghetti on mine.
See,
that's true.
there you go. See, smart guy here. Yeah.
So let's talk about InfinityCon here in comparison. So if you're not here compared to other cons, so someone can see kind
Sure.
of how. Yeah.
At least we can compare it with the Southeast.
The ones we know.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So what should we start with? Big MegaCon and then go down.
Yeah,
MegaCon.
MegaCon enormous.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
so
jeez.
MegaCon's 110,000 last convention.
Yes.
110,000 through the door.
Right.
It's in one space, but it's a little
Convention
difficult
center.
to access. Yeah, it's a big
It's the
convention center.
Orlando Convention Center. If anyone's
Not
been there,
attached to a
it's
hotel.
Massive.
But it's only in one of the, because there's
Wings,
4
yeah.
quadrants,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Yeah,
usually
like
northeast,
the
west,
South
south.
building or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say that this entire convention, including the esports thing, could easily fit in one side of the vendor area at MegaCon.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, we have a lot of spaces. We have a giant room for panels. We have a giant room for the Smash Brothers.
Yeah. Well, I was including that. I
Does
mean,
you include
really,
all that? Would it all
yeah.
fit in there? Okay.
Yeah.
I
think
guess it
maybe
fit in one
could.
half. Yeah, about half of one of those
Yeah.
south halls. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now the giant panel room that we have at this one, compared to MegaCon has big theater style panel rooms for their main panels.
Okay.
But then they also have rooms that are about the size of the one we have at InfinityCon for their B class, I guess you would say, panels, like the ones that are just below the super A-list
Superstars,
celebrity.
yeah.
The big
type of thing.
auditorium level
Yeah,
panels versus
like the giant drawing panels. Remember, we've gone to those with
Yeah.
the drawing competition things,
Yeah.
and they give out the picture. And they had one of those there. They had a different take on it, though. We'll talk about
Anyway,
panels
that-
later,
okay.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
So that's MegaCon. That's the big one.
yeah,
And then so the next size down. Would you like SFGE?
yeah.
sure, yeah, SFG,
Yeah, SFGE and his
Well,
lamp.
Yeah, because really DragonCon's as big as MegaCon.
yeah, they're like
They're like
They're on par.
They're
Yeah,
on par
yeah.
because I think DragonCon's 90,000 through the door
Yeah, pretty
over a
much.
4-day weekend. Yeah, and that's the other thing too, 4-day weekends versus 2-day
2-day.
or 1-day weekends. Yeah. So SFGE, no, maybe Pensacon.
Yeah, Pensacon's bigger than SFGE.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got Pensacon next.
And Pensacon's in a similar venue. I mean, kinda,
Well, is that a sporting auditorium?
It's a sporting auditorium.
Yeah.
but there's nothing below the floor or adjacent to the floor. It's the whole vendor area is on the basketball court,
Yeah.
which is very claustrophobic with as many people and
You're
vendors.
down in
as
this
possible.
valley. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
all the panels were off site at Pensacon. You
Yes.
have to get on the buses.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, the bus. That's
Yeah.
ugh.
Which is
Yeah.
crazy.
I didn't care for Pensacon.
Yeah. Which is
Yeah.
why I haven't gone back to Pensacon.
Yeah.
How many times did we do that? We covered it once for media and once as a table. Did we ever do a
That's
table?
it. No, we didn't.
No, we never
do
did a table.
We just did
Never
media
We just did
coverage.
a media. Yeah.
Yeah, thank God we didn't do
And
table.
it's difficult. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
difficult to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
It sucks up
To
time.
catch up on some chats in there.
Well, let's finish talking about the convention size, see where we are.
Okay.
So then SFGE probably comes under that,
Which is
as much as that's growing. You think?
which is probably our favorite.
I think SFGE has more through the door, probably
Yes.
8 to 10.
Yeah, I would think so. Yep.
Over because they do a 3-day weekend, right? And I'm assuming unique visitors each day. So yeah, I think they do 8 to 10,000. And as a comparison, but let's compare the two people who run those conventions a little bit, right? Because it's something we've talked about. If you're a vendor at a MegaCon, you don't matter to them.
No,
You're
that's
just
true.
a number,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, big time.
DragonCon, a little bit more caring,
Little bit
because
more.
they have, it's all volunteer staff and they have their sections and they kind of look after you. We have the people, they've come up to our table and checked
yeah,
on us.
Yeah,
you
it's,
know.
it's well staffed by volunteers.
It is well staffed. Pensacon, smaller, but do not care about
Don't care.
you.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Never met or saw anybody.
No.
Nope.
Matter of fact, gave me a really hard time about getting us some lanyards
Yeah,
at one time.
yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, we couldn't get a lanyard.
Right. It's like, you gave me a badge but not a lanyard. What are you doing? All right.
Yeah.
SFGE and InfinityCon, probably the two nicest to not only people coming in but vendors as well. Best organizations
To
I would
work
say we
with,
have.
to work,
Yeah.
the people to work with. Yeah. Yep.
If I'd say anything negative against them is that they take on a lot.
Maybe too much.
It may be too
much.
Yep.
David
Yeah.
is kind of a one-man show for InfinityCon, and he tries to do all of it himself.
Okay, let's catch up on the text.
Okay.
Jerry
Yeah.
is
I know,
in the chat.
I know Jerry.
Jerry says, "I'm glad Mo
I
enjoyed
know.
my email."
Oh, that was Jerry.
That was
Okay.
Jerry.
Nice. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So Mike says, "Sweet, they look great."
Jerry, it's funny.
Yep. My mom says, "Sweet shirts." George rules.
Thank you, Mom.
Hawk says, "Are my chats getting through?"
And-
No,
and
we're not
No,
seeing your
we're
chats.
not seeing your
Well,
chat.
Thanos does answer right after.
except that one. Jigsaw says, "Hello, I am here."
Hello,
Who's
Jigsaw.
Jigsaw? Do we know Jigsaw?
Jigsaw Productions.
I don't know Jigsaw, but that's a
well,
cool name.
yeah.
I love your movies.
Except for the last one.
Are they documentaries? Yeah, I didn't like the last one.
Not the last one. No,
But
not,
Jigsaw wasn't in that.
not
one, so
so
That's
they
true.
count.
So you're okay.
It wasn't his movie, so he's good.
Let's see. What else can we talk about here? Food and drink options at this convention are problematic.
Did they have options?
Well,
That's the
true.
first problem.
Options would be like more than
That
one.
implies there's more than one option. It's not an option to take it or leave it. That's the option.
Yeah. So what they did was they set up a little kiosk on the floor because so for those of you who don't know, Civic Center has a couple of levels. The upper level is adjacent to the entire upper ring of the arena.
Yeah.
So when you go in those, you're kind of like the really high nosebleed seats are above you and all the cool seats are below you. You're on that ring. Right there is where all the food vendors have real booths with stations that they can cook at and hot plates and all that.
Because they use those for like regular,
Right.
Like,
Historically.
Now we're a level down
Yeah.
from that, and so they set up this kiosk, and it looks like they just took some microwave food bags or something and brought them downstairs and kept them in some warmers. So they had pretzels, which were not pretzels; they were dough in the vague shape of pretzels.
They were salted dough.
Yep. I don't remember salt.
Oh no.
No, I don't remember. That would have
Unsalted
been
dough.
interesting.
unsalted
Okay,
dough,
unsalted
ooh,
dough.
even better.
They had sodas, a few selections, Cokes and whatnot, water,
Yep.
coffee.
Yes.
Because we found a coffee. They had a bar set up, although I didn't partake. And
They don't tell me anything.
chicken fingers and hot dogs.
Allegedly.
Oh, and nachos. 'cause
Oh,
we
and
saw
they had
nachos.
nachos.
We saw
Solid
nachos.
nachos.
Yeah. But I didn't see a way to cook there. They said they had chicken fingers. I'm guessing
Yeah.
it happened.
But for let me say, for a convention, I don't care what size convention, having a single place for food,
Yeah,
is not
for
enough.
snacks?
It's
No.
just not
Yeah.
enough.
Now, I know David really well. You guys know I interact
Yep.
with him all the time. David had told us in a lot of emails that he had specifically addressed the food issue because this was a similar thing to the last time.
Yeah,
And he had addressed it by contacting some local food trucks
which
to
is
come
awesome
in.
idea.
I'm going to guess that either FSU nixed the idea because they wanted to sell their stuff and, whatever.
Could be.
Or there was maybe some kind of code thing about having that indoors somehow because food trucks, I don't know.
Maybe they were outside and we didn't know it.
I
I didn't see
anybody.
I didn't
bring
either.
food.
And I drove through the parking lot during the day because of something we're going to talk about later.
Right, yep.
I didn't see any food trucks anywhere. So I don't think it's Dave's fault in that I think some things were set up that didn't come to fruition through no fault of his own, maybe.
Could be. Yep.
It's still disappointing though.
It was so we pretty much went all day and you had a pretzel.
I had a
and,
pretzel and
I had those
Pocky.
Japanese
because the vendor was
chocolate stuffed bears.
Because there's a vendor right next to
selling
us
Pocky and stuff. Yeah.
that vendor's got to clean up, right? Because they're selling snacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there were always people.
Oh,
there
they were
buying all
always
day.
busy. Always busy. Miss So said, I used to hide snacks in a bag or purse I brought through conventions. That food's always expensive. Well, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
In fact, I had said, I've been a big fan of MREs lately. I should have brought some of these meal ready to eat. We'd have been the envy everywhere. They got like chicken chow
It
mein.
would have
they
been
have
heated
lasagna?
up, and
Yeah,
the order would have gone out.
Yeah. I didn't do it. I forgot, though. I forgot. Creeper, can you get food delivered to your booth? No. I
We
mean,
didn't try, but
not really. Yeah.
It would have been really difficult to have a delivery service or Uber Eats or anything like that.
Get in
find
at
you.
all.
And get in, right? Because they're not going to buy a ticket,
No, of course not.
right?
Yeah.
So
You'd have to meet them outside.
you'd have to meet them
Yeah.
wherever that.
I've
they
done
security
that.
won't let you bring the food in, probably.
I've done that at other conventions
Yeah.
where you had to meet them outside by the front.
But
yeah.
it is.
I'm
what it
guessing
is.
most people, other than us, probably sent somebody for a food run.
I
Yeah,
expect,
that's
yeah.
what I
Right.
guess.
Yeah, well, we'll talk in a minute. You went out and you offered, but we didn't.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. At that point, it was a little different time of day. And
Yeah, I
all.
want to mention one of our favorite things that we've done since we started doing the very first one we did. We started putting a big jar of retro candy.
Yes.
like Dum Dums and Smarties and old
Sugar
stuff.
Daddies.
Sugar babies.
Sugar
And-
babies.
Yeah.
And I don't know when we started doing this, but everybody comes up and goes, "How much is the candy? Is it free?" And we go, "No, it costs a fist bump."
Yep.
And the kids love that. They love
do.
to pound your fist.
And John's the biggest kid that loves it of all.
I do. We had employees at the Civic Center coming around. We heard you had candy for a fist bump. I'm like, true. There you go.
Yeah.
I'll take the milk duds or whatever we
Yeah.
had.
It's kind of funny too because
Were
the
there milk
kids.
duds? Sorry.
There were milk duds. Yeah, the
Oh,
little.
shit,
Yeah.
I missed the milk.
The kids will come up, and there's two kids that come up, right? There's the kid who just reaches in and starts
Yeah.
grabbing it.
Yeah.
And then there's the kid who walks up, sees the candy, and is like, oh.
What's happening here?
And they're kind of like looking at the corner of their eye.
And they're like, yeah, and they're like, does that cost something? Is that free? Is mom going to notice? And so we're good about asking the parents, is it okay if they have it? And then we go with the fist bump thing, and that's when they, especially depending on the age of the kid. Like, it's like his head is just barely above the table age kid, it's like, Yeah.
Yep. Never met a kid that didn't know how to fist bump and love it. So.
Right?
And eat candy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the parents are all cool. I mean, because we always, we always ask the parent, hey, is it okay? If it's okay with your parent, because last thing we want is like some kid with diabetes
Sure.
grabbing a candy bar and,
Catch up on a little chat. I just, what do we got? Thanos said, is there Costco nearby? GXG Retro Snacks, yo. Yeah, hit the, Aaron said, MREs, mix the peanut butter, cocoa mix, and a dash of water for a treat.
there you go.
Like in a bag?
Yeah, and like the beverage bag. Shake that up. That's going to be like a liquid Reese
Nutella
cup.
kind of thing, maybe.
Yeah, it's cocoa and peanut butter. Oh, yeah.
I mean-
I could see that.
I don't know. I don't know if I could eat that. That sounds interesting.
Ethan said, I would like a fist bump from John. Here we go. That's for you. There you go, Ethan. You're the man.
Nice.
Yeah, so let's talk about some of the. Let's talk about that. So Thanos asked about the panel.
Oh, sure.
So
yeah,
we had
yeah.
the Smash Brothers tournament that we talked about, that big competition.
Yeah, you want to talk about that?
Huge
or,
thing.
And then go into panel?
Yeah, so talk about what that is. Yeah,
Sure.
So it was a big deal.
Smash Brothers has there's these giant tournaments everywhere. It's esports. It's as big as League of Legends. It's mostly 1v1 or 2v2.
Yep.
So it's not the big 5-man teams like you see in League of Legends. But they had the first one, as we said earlier, here on the East Coast since COVID took over. And that's been a big issue for these players because most of them earn their income by going to these tournaments and getting sponsorships and having advertisers and all that kind of stuff. So this one being the first one, Dave got in touch with a company that runs these things, and he did not expect what ended up happening. They had 540 entrants. Had they gotten some promotion from this one other company he was saying that promotes Smash Brothers tournaments,
Easily hit
ridiculous.
$1,000.
at least a little over
Easily.
$1,000, but they were hesitant because of COVID restrictions still and whatnot. So he had 540. Mike McCall, one of our viewers and longtime
supporter.
Yeah, his son played in the tournament as well as my son. Both of them got bounced out really
Washed
quick.
out right away.
Oh, you did lose your son lost?
Yeah,
I
was confused. I thought his start time was going to be 8 o'clock. It was 6 o'clock. So he was starting right as you guys were leaving, and I was coming over here to meet you at the restaurant. So we did that. We got a call 1 week before the convention. I got a call, a messenger invite from Dave.
Yep.
And he said, I just realized I have a huge gaming convention and no gaming panels. Can you help?
And of course, George's like, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going to do whatever we can. So we talked a little bit about it. I got you guys on a call, and we were, figuring out what we could do.
Yep.
And I had him on Messenger and was calling him at the same time.
Yep.
And we came up with 2 panels. One that I was supposed to run today, which was going to be me moderating, hosting a panel of celebrity Smash Brother players.
Yeah,
that
professional
were-
esports
professional
players. Yeah.
players.
Right.
It's so weird that's a thing now, but anyway.
Yeah, and they were really, they were great people. It was there was a couple of people that were in there, and I'm going to get some contact information from them because I talked about maybe doing some collaboration stuff with them because they do Twitch and YouTube and whatnot. Sure. And I went and talked with them ahead of time because it was their first panel ever. Never done a panel. And as you know, a lot of gamers are a little bit more reserved, a little bit shy. So Dave asked me to sit with them for a few minutes just to kind of prep
Ease them
them
into
as
it,
what to
yeah.
expect. And so I did that.
And it's mighty good that you did that preparation.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
So here we are, it's like 25 minutes before your
Yeah,
panel
it was,
time.
it was
Yeah.
right before it.
Yeah, 2:30, I think.
Yeah,
something
somewhere
like
around
that.
there.
Yeah.
And the phone rings.
The phone. Well, the phone
Those
are
are the
alerts.
rings.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which alert is a...
It's a Star Trek red alert.
It is.
Yeah, it's the klaxon.
So, my mother owns a house here in town that she no longer lives in.
By Ethan.
And she now lives across the street from me, which is very convenient, very easy. But the old house that we had before my father died, we still own it, but it's just vacant. It's just sitting there.
Yep.
Well, about 2 months ago, some of you know, the house got broken into and had squatters living in it.
Yeah.
And they were just trashing it. It was terrible. We got all that situation cleared up. I got the locks changed, and I got a security system put in. So it's got glass break sensors, it's got door sensors, it's got window sensors, it's got motion sensors,
They
it's
sold
got
you everything.
cameras. I put everything in there because Mom said, put everything in there until we get the house cleaned up and get it ready for sale.
Right.
So today, glass break sensor on the front porch goes off.
Brant.
Oh my God. I start getting phone calls from the company because they're trying to verify if everything's okay. They don't know that I don't live there.
Right.
Well, I'm in the Civic Center, and my phone signal keeps cutting out.
Yeah, cutting in and out.
So they're calling me 2 or 3 times, and I'm getting snippets of conversation. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? And I finally get to a point where they say, is everything okay? And I say, well, I'm not at the house.
I don't know. Yeah.
I'm the son of the owner of the house. I will go over there. Can you please send the police? That somehow got mistranslated to the sheriff's department to, we've talked to somebody in the house who claims to be the son of the owner.
Oh, that's what that
and
was.
he doesn't have a password.
So
because the phone
ultimately,
cut off.
what it comes down to is George, rightfully so, is like, I just cannot manage this from here. I've got to go.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I got to be on site and figure out what's going on.
30 minutes before the panel, I have to take off. I grab Dave and I say, look, Dave, I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do about this. I don't even get to talk to the 2 people that I just spent 20 minutes with.
And typical Dave fashion, he's like, it's okay. Take
No
care of yourself.
problem.
Do
Dave's
whatever.
great.
Yeah.
Right.
Again.
So I take off. I get over there, and let me tell you, the sheriff's department came out in force. There were 5 cars and a canine unit.
Wow,
And
they must have been bored.
they had that place surrounded, and they were asking me questions.
And a canine unit?
Yeah, and a canine unit.
What the hell?
They were, is this out of place? Is that normal? You know, like
Okay, just secret.
and there was a couple of things where people had apparently, since the last time I'd been over there, had tried to gain entry. There was a ladder leaned up against a window, but the window hadn't been breached. After my wife brings the keys over, because I didn't have the keys with me, which took a little bit of time, I go in and I unlock the doors for them, and they stormtrooper through. Sheriff's Department, if you're in here, let us know. You know, dogs.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're just going through this house and clearing it. And there's no lights in this house because we turned all that stuff
no
off.
power. Right.
So they go through, and after, I don't know, 10 minutes, one of the sheriff who stayed outside to watch stuff, you know, make sure nobody hops out a window trying to run, he's like, okay, house is clear, you can go inside. So I go inside, everything's fine. Turns out the damn sensor is faulty, and that whole miscommunication thing about there being somebody in the house on the intercom, which was really me on the phone,
Right.
got everything
all blown out of proportion.
all blown out of proportion.
But you had to go.
I had to
You had
go.
to go and find out. Yeah, because it was crazy.
We got it situated, got it relocked, and then I came back.
Yep. You made it back. And right for the last 5 minutes of the panel.
For the last 5 minutes of the panel,
So he's taking credit for it.
I'm not. I did get to talk to the 2 guests, and I apologized to them because it's the first time we've ever done anything like missing a panel like that. They were very gracious. Dave was very gracious, and I got to see the last 5-10 minutes of it, and they were really good.
Your briefing had clearly loosened them up because they did a great job.
They
So-
were almost running the panel themselves. Like Dave was just occasionally asking something, but they were really doing a good job.
Rachel showed up, said, "Hey guys."
Hey, sweetie. Okay, that's
And,
my daughter himself. Take that,
Yeah,
just so you know.
more family members watching. Thank goodness for the family members.
Yeah.
All the GXG family are family
Right.
members. Mike says, it sounds like a potential GXG clubhouse location, your house over there.
It could be.
There's no power. We need power, though.
Well, and it's in Tallahassee, and 2/3 of GXG is in
It doesn't work so
Jacksonville,
well.
yeah.
And Rachel says, how does this stuff keep happening to you, George?
It's just me.
Trouble magnet.
Yeah.
That's why we're okay. Because
Yeah.
Right.
George is there to take it for us.
Right. I'm just absorbing all the cosmic issues.
And the guy at the panel bought your stuff for $100, Mike says, yeah.
Yes.
Damn it!
Yes.
That's right, because that's when you were gone.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was an interesting day. And then I get back, and oddly enough, another sensor in the house starts going off, and I have to drive back and leave at the end of the convention.
Yeah, you broke out like maybe 30 minutes before the end.
Yeah. I'm
Well,
like,
because you're like,
Jesus.
what if it is real this time? You can't say nuts
Right.
nothing, right?
Or somebody did something the first time, now they're back. And who knows?
Yeah.
So I go in there with my little knife that I have on my keychain just in case, and I go in and clear the house
That'll get
myself
'em.
this time.
This is George!
If I hit an artery, you're done.
Stand back, penknife.
I'm driving, I get the whole house cleared up and re-alarmed and everything, and I talk to people, and they say, okay, this sensor is faulty, we're going to blow. And so I'm driving back to the restaurant to meet you guys, alarm goes off again.
Yeah, twice you said, but
Yes.
you had it too. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's it. Just sell the house, I'm done. I don't. You safe touch want it, you can have it. I don't care anymore.
Thanos says, breached. Look at George going all SWAT. Mike said you learned that word from the cops today. You didn't know it before.
I did not.
So.
Yeah.
Well, back at the convention, when you weren't gone, we did all get a chance to at one point walk around and see the different vendors and artists and anything. So I thought we should talk at least briefly about any that we saw that were interesting that we want to go back and see today. You talked about the Ranker, which is awesome. That big giant thing was really cool.
Big giant thing. Yeah.
We saw our friends with the USS Kai Tom, which is The
Yeah.
the Starfleet fan club where you and I met 30-some years
yeah.
ago.
Yeah, right.
They were there in force. That club's still going around.
And they had a couple of little neat props. They have a captain's chair
and
that
a transporter.
and a transporter,
Oh,
right?
oh wow! I
And
see
the
transporter.
captain chair, I'm almost positive we didn't, because they were gone when we were looking at it. I think it's a massage chair, and I really want to go sit in it when they're there.
You should never have a captain's chair without a massage.
Right.
Now that I think
If I
about
was
it.
captain of Stereo Starship, yeah,
You would have.
I would wear massage.
And you know, I love the details. Did you see the symbols on
Oh
the
yeah.
armrest?
Oh yeah. So much cool
So
stuff.
it's a hybrid club. It's half Klingon, half Starfleet.
Yeah.
And they had both symbols on the chair.
On there.
I thought that was
Of
awesome.
course. Yeah.
I'll take a look at that. Wow.
Yep.
I missed that part.
So other vendors that you saw. So the one that I can remember I talked about. There's the she came to see us a couple of times.
I know which one you're talking about. I was going to use the same
makes
one.
these super miniature
Yeah.
little tiny things like a
Out
little
of clay.
Out of
and-
clay.
Yeah, clay. She carves them with
Yeah.
a knife. Like you've seen these like quick videos on Facebook of people making stuff out of clay and baking it, and she makes these intricate, super
Yeah, I saw the
super
taco
detailed.
ones you were talking about.
Bananas.
Yeah, the
super
ones I was telling you
crazy.
about. Yeah.
Yeah, really neat.
Yeah, like one of the ones she had there that I almost bought, but I'm like, wait, I don't wear earrings. They had the little
We can fix
those
that.
are clash.
she had a little pot sticker plate and
Yeah, I
little
saw
pot
that
sticker
one.
earrings.
Yep,
I was like,
yep.
damn it, that's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, Rachel, I told her I'd buy something for you. So
They had some good stuff.
no sushi ones though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
uh,
she did have sushi. She must have sold out on them.
No, she said she didn't.
Oh, wow.
A couple of big, medium-sized comic book
Yeah.
vendors.
Yeah, so Pet Piranha was there, Cosmic Times was there. There was a couple of more independents that were there, which
Yep.
was nice.
A few there showing off their main book.
Yep. Yeah.
Right across from us, there's a young lady that's written several fantasy books.
Sure.
Yeah, it's right there that we've seen all day.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anything
Warhammer guy, right? Kitty corner, right?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Warhammer,
big
tabletop,
board
yeah.
gaming
Yeah.
Warhammer
Yeah.
guy. Absolutely,
They were one of the
yeah.
ones I want to kind of hit on that we talked about. So we get there early to set up and get
Oh
everything
yeah,
ready.
yeah.
And if you're ever going to be a vendor or help a vendor at a convention, show up early. That's
Yeah.
common courtesy, not just to the people around you,
On time is late.
Right.
You need to be early. Yeah.
but to the convention itself, because you're representing that convention, whether you realize it or not. You're not just representing yourself, and you want to make a good impression so that the next year it's bigger.
yeah. If the VIPs come in and your booth is covered with a tarp, what the VIPs pay for?
Right.
Yeah.
Or let's say not set up at all with anything whatsoever, because that's what the Warhammer guy was. No board game there, no nothing. He was just like they were wheeling in
Yeah.
display stands at like 9:45.
Which is verboten. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to
No.
be super ready. Yeah.
Yeah,
Clear the
so-
aisles. Make sure you're open. Yeah.
I get irritated when I see that, because I know from working with a lot of these people who run conventions like Dave, I know how much effort they put into it. You could put in a tenth of that effort. Just get your butt there on time. That's all.
just get there.
Yeah.
I mean, really, setting this stuff is not hard.
No.
It should be. If your booth is difficult to set up, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
You rethink how you're
Hey,
doing.
Alex the nerd is here. Hey, Alex, good to see
Hey.
you again. Yep, Thanos. We're talking Star Trek, so he put up one of those exclusive YouTube member
Right.
com badges.
Nice.
Yep, awesome. And one thing before we start wrapping it up is a lot of really cool people. You mentioned, you touched on this,
Yeah.
Mo. You always talk about meeting people. That's what we're here for, really. The selling stuff, as we said, to defray the costs. And there were several. I counted maybe 5 or 6 like clusters of really interested, really engaged, really like want to discuss, and they're into it. Like the oval decals that
Oh,
we
yeah,
made,
yeah.
the GXG
Yeah.
that we sell,
Right.
and you typically don't sell stuff branded GenXGrownUp unless
Because-
somebody knows who you are.
Yeah.
Right.
And by the time we ended the discussion, they bought a cube and they bought this and they bought a decal for their car for these 3 knuckleheads they'd never heard of before today.
Right.
And I'm like, that's weird, but awesome.
That's
you know,
weird.
I'm thrilled, but it's but you meet people and you start to make a connection.
Yes,
And
sure.
because that's why we like these medium to large size conventions, because
Yeah.
you
Time to
have the
talk.
time to talk and connect. You're not rushing around from place to place.
Yeah.
And-
Right.
and I know you mentioned earlier, one of the folks who was there was in the chat. I forget, there were several talking, but I'm glad you showed up to the live
Yeah.
stream tonight. Thank you.
And it was just really nice, though. It's like, especially you said, a lot of younger people at
Yeah.
this particular one. But you talk to the parent. Parents are our age most of
Right.
the time. You know, and so we sit there and you see their kid trying to play, Galaga.
Yeah.
And they're explaining Galaga to them. You know,
Yeah.
and the kid's like really getting into it, and then you start talking to the parent, and it was just cool.
Yeah.
You know, it was just cool to be.
Well, it
able
gives
to
you an
have a
avenue
conversation.
in to start the discussion.
Right.
You're like,
Right.
hey, good parenting. You're doing a Pac-Man
Yeah.
tutorial. Nice job.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was nice. It was a good. It's always a good feeling. I think because when we when we go to these conventions, like you said, the selling is secondary.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we talked about it before we said, like, which master are we going to serve this time?
Yeah.
Because it's always difficult to serve more than one thing. We said, well, we'll just let the sales thing be a main sales thing.
Mm-hmm.
But what we often find is that takes care of itself.
Yeah.
And it's the discussions that, like Mo was saying, where you just sit there and you're talking with, this guy who was showing his daughter Space Invaders.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Like, that's good parenting right there.
Yeah.
Well, it's like panning for gold. You got all that dirt and dust and water in the pan, and that's all the sales. And then once that clears, there's some gold nuggets. There are
Yeah.
those people that you really want to get engaged.
Yeah,
with
that's a really
GXG.
good analogy. It's nice because we've had some of those people become some of our most loyal supporters.
Yes.
A lot of them that we met at, like, Dragon Con.
Yes.
A butter spider.
Butter
We met
Spider.
at Dragon Con.
Yeah, I mean, he's like one of our biggest supporters now. He's involved in every aspect of stuff we do. He's on the Discord channel, he's on the YouTube channel, listens to the podcast.
Yep.
We would never have met Butter Spider had we not been at one of these conventions. And we're not going to get 100,000 subscribers from conventions only.
That's right.
No.
Right?
Yep.
Most of our subscribers are obviously going to
They're
come from
organic
watching our
growth
videos,
and watching
organic
stuff.
growth.
Yeah.
But the ones that we do get a chance to meet in person or to have some kind of
Yeah,
conversation
make a
with,
connection.
Yeah.
Those become the most engaged.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was the great thing too. Is like you said, some of these people you talk to them. Sometimes you talk about like, oh, we do a podcast, do a backtrack, and then we bring up like one of our topics. Oh, like Saturday morning cartoons. Oh my God! So,
Saturday
we
morning
love
cartoons
this,
are the best.
And then have a conversation, and then we'll have a whole
Right.
conversation.
And they'll be
about
like,
that.
yeah, would Saturday morning, are you going to get cereal? We did one about breakfast cereal. You did!
There's going to be a point where we're going to have to figure out a way to set up a live mic just continuously running to capture some of these conversations that we have with these people, because it's almost like its own new backtrack, even though it's talking about an old
Of
subject.
remembering stuff, yeah.
Because it's there.
Okay, so those are all the key topics that we
Yeah.
talked about.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, one more day of this convention. Starts, I think, opens at 9:30ish in the morning.
9:30 probably
I
in
think
for
so.
VIP.
Yeah.
We do have a panel. Should we talk?
Oh,
a little
that's
bit?
right, we should.
That's right.
That's
we,
right.
we are doing
There
a
you go.
panel.
Yeah,
That was
we
part of
talked about today, so let's talk
Yeah.
about tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, so
So-
that was all part of that discussion
Yeah.
where Dave came and said, "Oh, I need gaming panels." So we batted around an idea, and we came up with what it's like to grow up in the arcade era.
Yep.
In
So-
the arcade experience.
Arcade experience, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do it podcast style, so very much like this, with three of us up on stage.
Yep.
Anybody who's in the area, please come out.
Yes,
and,
please.
have fun.
Right. We expect to have at least 4, maybe 5 people in the room watching us. So one more
A
would be
fourth
great.
and a fifth list. Dare we ask for a fifth? I don't
think-
know.
I think you're.
No?
I think you're reaching on the fourth, but
We did joke earlier that in this giant auditorium, it's liable to be standing room only.
because they stand for a second and then they leave.
They stand at the door and leave. It's just them.
Yeah. Worst case, guys, we just talk amongst ourselves. We're fine.
That's right. That's what we do all the time.
Yeah, we do it
Right.
anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Hey, Multi-Gun Man, just joined us a little bit ago.
Hey.
How's it
Oh, yeah.
going, guys? Thanos, the new logo is Smexy. I think he's talking about the InfinityCon logo, I believe. You see it displayed without knowing what's behind it. The logo guy and
Oh yeah.
kind of a cool superhero.
Yeah, that's all Dave's creation, not ours.
Thanos says, "What time do we break into the clubhouse?"
Apparently, I'll just check my phone
Well,
and
just-
you let me know.
As long
Whenever.
as you break into one where they have the disabled sensors, you're in good shape.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you're set. You
It'll,
don't have to
it'll
worry
be a
about
false
it.
alarm anyway. It doesn't matter.
No canine units allowed.
So, one thing I would bring up is that I never understood the power of a sticker.
Oh, the
Oh,
unsubscribe
yeah.
stickers.
Yeah, we started those at
Dragon Con.
Dragon Con.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so you made these stickers that say, I
It
subscribe.
says, "I subscribe."
and with Genx logo.
Yep.
GenXGrownUp logo on it. And I can't believe how many people are like, you're like, hey, you should sign up now. Because, all right, you get a sticker. And people are like,
Oh,
a
where's my
sticker?
phone?
Oh, wait a minute.
I'm doing
let me
that
do it now. One guy who said there, like, oh, our thing didn't work. And the QR code didn't work. He said, I'm just going to go on.
I'll do a manual.
I'll
I
do
want
it
the sticker.
manually.
I want the sticker.
I'm like, all right.
You think about that when we first started Dragon Con. Do you remember what we did for that?
What we did for what? What do you mean?
For the
Oh yeah,
stickers.
we took a picture of everyone who got the sticker.
Right,
Picture of
that's
everyone,
right.
and then we had their picture running in our
Oh, yeah,
thumbnail
that's
reel.
right.
That's right. Oh yeah, we put it in
Behind
the
us at
picture.
the
That's
panel.
right. Yeah.
And we had that application that we paid for just for
Just
that
for that
weekend or
weekend,
something
yeah,
to do it.
yeah.
And it was amazing how people were like, it was like
They come by
their
and be like,
5 seconds of fame kind of thing. Right?
Yeah, it's like there I am. I'm
Yeah.
in the thing.
I mean, it, like, they really.
I'll never forget the guy who put the sticker on his forehead.
Yes.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. He was the thumbnail actually
Yeah.
for that video. Thanos said, "No, I was talking about the GXG logo. Cool.
Oh,
Thanks for
no.
that." And then Rachel is reminding us that was a brilliant unpaid intern idea, the I subscribe stickers.
I don't believe that.
No, it was her
No, it
idea.
was her idea.
It was her idea.
Okay,
I raise
fine.
smart kids. What
Well,
can I
it's
say?
that or give me credit for it.
Yeah,
Okay,
good
Rachel.
job,
Good job,
Rachel.
Rachel. I knew that would get you the credit you deserve. I knew it. All right. I think we've crushed this. We're around about an hour. It was really good.
Yeah.
If you missed any of this, of course, you can rewatch it, but also we'll publish this as an audio-only podcast
Okay.
on our pod feed.
We'll continue the stories tomorrow, I assume.
I want to find out. They don't have to put it in chat, but maybe they can send us some emails later. I want to find out if anybody enjoys this format of live stream for us.
That's
a good
yeah.
question.
This is a different kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
we've done the things where we have an activity to do,
Yeah.
right? Like the Street Fighter one
Sure.
that we did where all three of us
Yeah.
were face on the camera. It'd be interesting to know if people just like us getting together on camera and shooting the shit for 20 minutes or an hour. Or whatever.
Talking about the thing that we did, or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, movie we go see, or
Yeah.
maybe Goonies.
I expect this is probably more interesting to people that already know us and follow us than it is for new viewers. Or
Maybe,
Yeah.
but
maybe we just have that natural animal magnetism that will draw anyone to our appearance.
saying.
Oh my god.
just saying. You know, there's a YouTube channel that has like 50,000 subscribers right now, and it's just husband and wife reviewing TV episodes, and they're doing great.
That's true,
So
yeah.
anybody might
We'll
want
get
to
to
watch.
we'll have well done, medium rare, and raw here in the middle. Run the spectrum,
Like,
little A1 on
like
it.
so raw, I'm still on the hoof.
Right, a good veterinarian could save it.
Right.
Oh man.
Hey, Blasted and Stashin
Oh,
is here.
hey.
Yeah. Thanos said, yes, love it. Hour feels perfect. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Cool.
Thanks very much. We better quit while we're ahead then.
Yeah.
Go keep
Got
doing
it.
it.
We can only screw it up now, so
Yeah.
let's
Somebody in the
stop it.
booth, get off camera, get off camera.
So, the final words, thoughts, anything, Mo, before we go?
No, I mean, like I said, I think tomorrow's gonna be another good day. I'm actually very excited to get the panel. I'm hoping a lot of people we met today will show up. for
Yeah.
that,
Yeah, I hope so.
Because
Yeah,
we met
yeah.
some really great people, and I think actually we did remember to keep that we're doing it. Because I forgot to even mention the people that were doing this panel.
Yeah, I was. Today is today. And tomorrow,
Yeah.
yeah, on my radar.
Yeah.
That's true.
So
yeah.
we'll hit them up for it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Cool. George, any final thoughts before we part?
No, I mean, just, you know, be careful what you say to these two because they'll sell your shit.
No. We take you at your word is what we do. Especially when you just don't say it in passing. You vehemently say why you said it.
No, I mean, I think for me, final thought is just I'm happy to get back to some
Yeah.
form of normal.
Something.
I
Yeah,
agree.
something
Yeah.
we enjoyed
This
doing. Yeah.
this feels really good, really fun. I'm just liking that we're finally coming. The whole vaccination thing, and a lot of people were vaccinated, but we're still wearing
Still wear
masks
masks,
because it was
yeah.
respectful
Yeah.
and whatnot. I love this. I
Yeah.
love that we're getting back to normal.
Yep. Yeah, good to get together with all the people you talked about, this convention family, and us getting together to do something
Yep.
other than at somebody's house and doing just going out and meeting the people again and,
Yeah.
and getting those extras.
Being social.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, why don't we put a bow on this one? Thank you, all of you who
Yeah.
joined us to hang out. This has been fun. So I'm John. George, thank you for being here.
Yes, sir.
Mo, I appreciate
Always
you.
fun, man.
All you watchers and listeners, we appreciate you most of all, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
You gotta say your close.
Take care, everybody.
Oh.
Bye.
What do I say?
See ya. And I say,
Do I say see you?
I forget what you said.
I don't remember what I said now. I'm freezing.
Just bye-bye. Just say goodbye.
Bye.